health and safety are not number one when it comes to world-class events. The holy trilogy of audience, goals and origin comes first, followed by conceptual design and vision. Only after you've gone through those stages do you overimpose the health and safety net. Of course, health and safety is really the most important thing, but that is not where you start planning a world-class event. There is no substitute for being kind in business and your professional career. The rewards are immeasurable. You meet the same people on the way down as you do on the way up. Practical ways that you can use kindness in your career are: one, by helping young people, offering apprenticeships, offering encouragement, listening. Two, making sure that everybody in the supply chain has got enough to get by on. Three, having a strong CSR policy, a good carbon footprint, and generally caring about the planet. These tips have worked for me, and I think that they will work for you in your business as well. The biggest killer I know in business is what I call O and U. O is for overexpansion, and U is for undercapitalization. Those are classic business killers, but there is one other, and it's called EGO, ego. It's so easy to go out and buy that new Mercedes on the strength of one good contract or some money in the bank, but just remember that we're in a cyclical business and we're very, very determined by macro, socio and economic trends. Time spent worrying about competition is time that's lost. The leaders in any field are always looking ahead, not behind. If you find yourself being copied or plagiarized, then see this as the greatest form of flattery. In my experience, I found that the real long-term winners were those that were not only aware of the marketplace, but always managed to keep their eye on the winning line in the distance. In military strategy, it's the more flexible entity that wins. Thus, the English battleships were lighter and faster and had the advantage over the slow, heavy galleons of the invincible Spanish Armada. Adaptability is the secret weapon in the business world too. There, rigidity is tantamount to defeat. To sell umbrellas in a drought or school tests at the beginning of a vacation has never made anyone rich. Those who are able to sniff out the demands of a market in a continual state of flux are those that survive and grow wealthy. That's actually courtesy of Piero Ferrucci, who's a famous philosopher and business writer. Research and round-off are two of the most important stages in the event management cycle. I've always run by my holy trilogy of audience, goals and origin, but I don't believe you can spend enough time on the beginning and the end of a project as well. At the end of the cycle, how about a box of chocolates or a bunch of flowers or a nice thank you note? And at the start of the cycle, you can never do enough research about your client and the audience that you're going to be providing the event for. The pressures of today's economic-driven, strife world can lead to a curious condition that clients often fall under the spell of, and that condition is called selective memory process. It's a sort of condition that's sort of symptomised by clients remembering what they want to remember and forgetting what they want to forget, particularly when it comes to details and budgets. So my advice to you is record every conversation that you have in writing. Perhaps send an email back to the client just stating what the conversation was about. And keep a really good note for yourself, and that will form the basis of what I again will call your event Bible. My next tip is never, never, never give up. And that's a motto that I have on the front of my day file. So every single morning I read that motto and I think about it. It's commonly accepted in business that it will take 2 to 3 years until you break even, and 5 years until you start doing good. Well, you're going to have a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges in that time, not least of which is understanding what your strengths and capacities are. So surround yourself with strong, positive people, so you always remain positive. Build up on the weaknesses which you identify about yourself, and enjoy the business you're in, and never, never, never give up. Procurement consultants. These are a new breed of people who are taught how to professionally bargain with you and to knock down your prices and potentially your morale as well. So it's best that you understand the game they play from the offset. Bargaining in a shop for a better price is something which I guess we're all accustomed to in some ways. But the devious tactics that procurement consultants teach large companies are far more insidious than that. They'll often teach big companies to bash your morale up, complain about quality, complain about details, all the way up to the lead of the event, and then afterwards to find little things to complain about. They can sometimes even use retrospective bargaining, which means that they say to you after the event, and it's all gone perfectly well, they say, unless you give us a rebate on the cost, we're not going to use you next time because we need support from our regular suppliers. So just bear this all in mind when you actually set up the contract in the first place. Above all else, enjoy yourself. We're in a people industry, and it's people we serve in this industry, and it's a great personal buzz that we can all get through relating with people. It's a very privileged industry to be in. There's a little saying that I really like, which is, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is the present. That's why it's such a gift.